His experience. He's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but sometimes you don't need it. You know, when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
He knows his distance well, and I don't think the other guys can like reach him or capitalize off of it.
Now, everybody's saying decision. Could a stoppage be on the table? Because you said like frustrate him.
Yeah, for sure. A stoppage is always in the works. These guys fighting with 8 ounces on no head gear. Anything can happen in boxing. Back down. Just be himself. Be him. Don't listen to the crowd. Don't listen to these fans. Don't listen to these haters, these saying doubters. Just be him. Do what he do best, and that's one.
Well, it's more of a fighter. Like he's a ring generalship. He's in there thinking. He's calm. He's having fun because Teofimo's been proving it before. And I gotta emphasize this. If someone can pull it off, it's definitely Teofimo Lopez. If Teofimo Lopez doesn't do it, I don't see who's gonna beat Shakur Stevenson.
A lot of experienced voices in boxing believe Teofimo Lopez has the tools to dominate this matchup. They point to his sharp fight IQ, fast footwork, and naturally aggressive mindset as factors that could put Shakur Stevenson under constant pressure. The concern is that Lopez's pace and explosiveness might disrupt Stevenson's calculated, defense-first style before he ever gets comfortable.
Teofimo showed you that he can fight inside, he can fight outside. He would have the advantage of power in this fight. You know one thing that I love about this fight, Bud? Shakur's very athletic, very talented. So is Teofimo. He's more explosive with power, but Teofimo is very athletic. He is very talented. You got two athletic guys, two talented guys. Again, Teofimo I would favor with the power. This is going to be interesting.
Many fighters and analysts also highlight Teofimo's physical presence as a key edge in this matchup. His natural strength and larger frame could play a significant role, particularly when facing a highly skilled but naturally smaller competitor like Shakur Stevenson.
He's a very special athlete, and as a competitor, he is one of those guys who saves his A game for a fellow elite opponent. That's when he really rises his game and shows us the Teofimo Lopez that everybody thought he was when he was a prospect. People used to look at him and say, oh, this guy is going to be the star in boxing. It didn't really play out that way, but every now and then he reminds us how special he is.
Teofimo is a two-division Ring Magazine champion. In both fights where he won the Ring Magazine championship, he was the underdog. 4-1 underdog against Lomachenko. People forget, Lomachenko was taking elite fighters in the lower divisions and they were quitting.
Yes.
He was beating them into something. They were like, I can't do this, right? And Teofimo beat him. Right, he outboxed him.
Yeah, he didn't do it by physically imposing himself on him.
He outboxed him, he outfought him, he had speed, power, and then again against Josh Taylor at junior welterweight, he was the underdog, so he saves his best for his biggest moments.
Lopez has made it clear that he doesn't want a clean, technical battle. His plan is to turn the contest into a rough, physical fight, using his size and power at 140 pounds to disrupt Stevenson's timing. By forcing close exchanges and constant pressure, he aims to land heavy punches that could end the fight early instead of letting it drift toward a judge's decision.
He's a very talented, skillful, technique fighter.
Yeah.
Can't take anything away from it. However, scared to get hit. Scared to get knocked out in front of the world. Scared to get touched up in front of the world.
Are you saying that off of the last fight or just
in general?
In general.
In general.
Yeah.
In general. Me and Shakur sparred before. We did 3 rounds and it was just light work and me trying to figure out his jab. Does he have a good jab? Yeah, he does. But once you pass his jab, it's game.
Shane mostly believes Stevenson could be taking a serious risk by stepping straight into the ring with such a powerful and aggressive opponent at 140 pounds. His concern isn't about Shakur's skill level or boxing ability. It's about how moving up in weight might affect him physically, and whether his body will adjust properly to the added size and strength in that division.
I don't think that, well, maybe. I mean, Shakur might show some different, if he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen, or different type of fighting we haven't seen, and vice versa. Whereas Teofimo's hitting him with different shots off the angle, that is kind of giving Shakur Stevenson trouble. We'll see about that. So we just don't know.
Yeah, the thing is I think people overlook of Teofimo is he can box when he wants to. Like, he's shown he has a slick style too when he wants to do that.
When he wants to do that. So if you have a slick style and you got power and you got the speed too, and you're fighting at 140. So let's see. I don't know if Shakur Stevenson is going to get slower moving up in weight or not, where Teofimo can hit him. Maybe he was really fast at 130, 26-30, maybe 35, but 40, you put on a little bit more weight. I think that he holds the weight probably really, really good, but you just don't know.
Several fighters who have made similar weight jumps have issued a warning. They say moving up to 140 could slightly slow Stevenson down, potentially dulling the sharp footwork and split-second reactions that make him so difficult to hit and control. Even a small drop in speed could change everything at the elite level. Meanwhile, Lopez is already comfortable at that weight, built for it, and thrives on his combination of explosiveness, strength, and physical pressure, advantages that could become even more noticeable on fight night.
This scenario, what if it's the Teofimo that beat Lomachenko? What if that Teofimo shows up?
Like I said, at Lomachenko, it's a not easy fight. Teofimo was able to be in the ring with different type of fighters and figure it out. The fighters that Shakur Stevenson was in with, they couldn't figure it out, or get close to figuring it out. Whereas Teofimo had to figure out that type of style, and Lomachenko is a hard fight to fight. So that's why this fight is so interesting. And for Shakur Stevenson to move up to 140 to fight him is definitely a hats off to him.
Do you have a favorite on paper in that fight at all, Shane?
I believe it's 50-50. It's a fight that I just have to sit down and watch and just want to see, like I said, who imposed their will on the other.
Analysts such as Andre Ward feel this matchup may come down to the tiniest details. At this level, both fighters are so evenly matched that factors like precise execution, sharp timing, and overall conditioning on fight night could ultimately determine who comes out on top. From a stylistic standpoint, there's very little separating them.
I respect them both because Teo knows it's going to be a real fight. Shakur knows it's going to be a real fight. And I look at Shakur like a fighter who has a blank canvas. He's got the IQ, he got the experience, and the athleticism, and the skill set where he can paint any type of picture he wants to on a blank canvas. When I look at Teofimo Lopez, he's almost that. He has a blank canvas, but he needs an outline on what to draw and what to paint inside the line. Now, every now and again, he'll go away from the outline that he has and he'll do something dope, and you'll be like, "Ooh, that was cool. That wasn't on the outline right there." But I don't think that he can create on the fly like a Shakur Stevenson. But what he does bring to the table, and what Shakur does have to deal with, is explosive power, quick twitch, muscles, and the type of punches that he likes to throw. And Teo doesn't have the foot game that Shakur has, but he's got a decent foot game.
Max Kellerman notes that the pressure isn't evenly distributed going into this fight. In his view, Shakur has more at stake because of his spotless record and reputation as a highly technical fighter. With that image comes higher expectations and more to protect. Lopez, meanwhile, steps in with less burden and more upside. As the underdog, he has freedom to take risks, and a victory would elevate him significantly. That dynamic lowers the pressure on him while increasing the opportunity, which makes the matchup far more dangerous and unpredictable.
Shakur is fighting to protect that perfect record, to protect that kind of sense that he's the next guy. On the other hand, Teo is like he can fight with more abandon against Shakur because there's so much for him to gain. And if he loses, he's lost before. He's lost to Campbell.
Pauli Melignaggi believes Shakur Stevenson's elite defense is what separates him from the rest. His ring awareness, timing, and ability to avoid clean shots make him one of the hardest fighters in boxing to beat. Very few opponents can even touch him consistently, let alone control the pace. But Pauli also adds a warning. If Teofimo Lopez shows up at his absolute best, sharp, explosive, and aggressive, He has the tools to shock everyone. His power, confidence, and unpredictability could disrupt Stevenson's rhythm and turn the fight into chaos. And against chaos, even the most technical fighters can be tested.
Is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to be counted out. Because Shakur is looked at by and large as the guy who can dominate boxing in this generation, right? It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity. I myself have felt that he's the guy who could and should be dominating boxing if he gets the right matchups. But bro, this is one of the rare matchups, if not maybe the only matchup, where I feel like it's a big threat here to Shakur. And then it would all come undone only because of this reason. Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back against the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall, and he's just so damn good. There's just something about Teofimo, man. He brings out a different level and somehow supersedes that guy who is that damn good. I've seen it. We've seen it already. I'm not saying anything that anybody else hasn't already seen, okay? I'm just stipulating it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know who wins this fight. Because again, your better head says Shakur, but then you think about, man, Teofimo, again, what I just explained.
He's got the talent to
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Shakur is extremely talented and could be the face of boxing as far as being that good, being that dominant, even though no matter how good you are. But this is one of the rare fights where you can get beat. And I don't ever want to hear any of you tank nut huggers that he fights one Uber driver after another. If Shakur Stevenson loses this fight, I don't ever want to hear any of you saying, oh, what about Shakur now? We'll tank this.
Teofimo's power and explosiveness give him a legitimate shot at victory. However, he'll have to navigate Shakur Stevenson's elite defensive skills and constant movement. Stevenson's ability to control distance, frustrate opponents, and avoid heavy punches is central to his strategy, meaning Lopez must stay sharp, patient, and precise if he hopes to land significant blows.
That being said, then what does Teo got to do to win?
He has to get Shakur up. How would I say this? I don't want to just make it seem like come across as if Shakur is novice, but the times that Shakur is putting himself against the ropes, this is the time that Teofimo is going to have to depend on his explosiveness. He's going to have to depend on his offset lead right hands. He's going to have, but even doing that, everything with Teo comes off his front foot, his explosiveness, his speed, everything. So it's almost like whenever the times he gets Shakur up against the rope, he got to pick his shots well, but then after that, he have to be ready to defend because with Shakur, the return is always coming. So he got to go into the offensive lane, but he have to go into it with good defense, which in my opinion, he really don't do that good when he's going into offense. He usually come in to an offense lane, like with his lead hand down, coming with head movement. But I just believe when you do get closer to Shakur, he's going to have to overload with work. He's going to have to really double up with one hand. He's going to have to use his feet, bust angles, things of that nature. So
Devin Haney points out that if Teofimo Lopez wants to overcome Shakur Stevenson, he'll need to be far more active and assertive throughout the fight. While Lopez's natural power and explosiveness make him a serious threat, his recent bouts have shown a more measured, inconsistent output that can play right into Stevenson's hands, allowing the highly technical, mobile fighter to control the pace and dictate the rhythm. To challenge Stevenson effectively, Lopez must increase his punch volume, push the action, and force continuous exchanges instead of waiting for perfect openings. Keeping up relentless pressure can disrupt Stevenson's defensive flow, prevent him from settling into his usual counterpunching rhythm, and create opportunities for Lopez to land his most dangerous shots.
Teofimo has had some great performances, great wins. Shakur is also a 3-division champion, going for his 4th. Unbelievable talent. It's a fight where we're gonna see talent from both, but we also have to see heart. That who has that heart to become the man. I think that fight's gonna be more about who's smarter, who plays the better cards, and who doesn't make mistakes. Because it's gonna be one of those fights where we might not have too much action, but we're all gonna be standing up because we want to see who's gonna land and who's gonna be the one that finds those punches to land. It's a very interesting fight, and they're both in their prime. They're both, that's what boxing is.
So, what do you think will go down when Teofimo Lopez finally steps into the ring with Shakur Stevenson?